Children, you guys are dismissed to Children's Church at this time. While they're going out, if you guys would like, we'll be in Philippians chapter 2. I was telling first service, this whole week, every time I would talk about Philippians, I kept calling it Philippines. I'd be like, Philippines chapter 2. So if I say Philippines, just forgive me. And thank you, Pastor Steve, for that beautiful picture of me. First service, I was telling them, like after he showed me a picture, I was thinking so hard to try to figure out an excuse for that picture, and I don't have one. So all I have for you is I was a messed up child. So, and I get it from my dad's side. So, the youth, their youth retreat was this weekend, and Tim went over with them over Philippians chapter 2. So I figured I would just share with the parents a little bit about what the teens in the church are learning about, and some of the principles that we want the teens to learn and to display in their daily lives. And it's very important. This is a very important quality for parents to display too. We are watching you, okay? And the kids will do what you do. I grew up a Bengals fan. Why? Dad was a Bengals fan. Like, I'm sure Steve, what was your dad? Was he a Steelers fan, or did he even watch?
Everybody's a Steelers fan.
No. Okay. Huh?
All Christians
are. All Christians are? Is that pride I hear? We're gonna discuss that here in a minute. All right. But so I just wanted you guys to understand kind of what we're trying to teach the kids and the teens and how they should be representing themselves in their daily lives. All right, so I have a couple questions for you guys. If you would like to participate, raise your hand as I ask a question. So, who here goes to the movies? All right, a lot of people, okay. Who likes to watch sports? All right, whether it's good sports or bad sports. All right, like soccer. I'm not a soccer fan, but if you like that kind of stuff, I won't judge you. All right, so a good bit of you guys watch sports. Who goes out to eat? All right, you guys normally go to restaurants you like, right? You don't go somewhere that you dislike. Who here has a hobby? Small, big, whatever, whether it consumes a lot of time or not. Okay? Just about everybody. Who plays games on their phone? Yeah. All right. And who gets on Facebook or social media on your phone? There should be more hands than that. I know you guys better. Every time I get on, I have I can just scroll through all the green lights. Who's online? Everybody that I know. Okay. So, one last question. All right. Be completely honest. Do not lie. Who here loves themselves? That's not very many hands. You guys are a bunch of liars. All right, well, in today's society, they talk a lot about low self-esteem, and people don't think much of themselves. And, well, the Bible kind of teaches otherwise. Paul has a few things to say in Philippians 2 here about what you really think about yourself. All right? Why do you guys watch movies? It's because you like movies. All right? You enjoy watching movies. You're giving yourself a little treat by watching a movie. We went and we watched, me and a bunch of the young adults went last night. And we watched Meg, like the gigantic shark, all right? And I went because I wanted to see it, all right? I wanted to see it, all right? So I'm treating myself to something. You go to a restaurant. Normally you don't just go to a restaurant because you can eat, because you have food at home, okay? You go out to a restaurant because you really like that. I go to Texas Roadhouse because those rolls, okay? Those rolls are delish, okay? And with that cinnamon butter, can't beat it. All right, me and Jeremiah Martin, we had a competition who could eat the most. I didn't even eat my plate, all right? I ate literally all rolls, all right? And I think we got up to 12, all right, each. I was walking out there like, it's still rising, like, it was awful. I puked that night, actually. That's called gluttony, all right? But I did that because I thoroughly enjoy those rolls and that cinnamon butter. Whew. All right? You know why I did that? Because I love myself, and I like to treat myself to those things. I didn't eat those rolls because you like them. I don't care if you like them. I do, okay? So, Paul knows you love yourselves, all right? And he addresses it in Philippians 2, all right? And it's not a bad, and so, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to love yourself, okay? It's a natural thing to love yourself. But it becomes an issue when you start to love yourself too much. It becomes prideful, okay? And that's when you start to put yourself over everybody around you, all right? And Paul addresses this. So, starting in verse 1, so if there was any encouragement in Christ, any comfort from love, any participation in the Spirit, any affection or sympathy, complete my joy by being of the same mind, having the same love, being in full accord and of one mind. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility. Count others more significant than yourself. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interest of others. Have this mind among yourselves, which is in yours in Christ Jesus, who thought he was in the form of God, or who, though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself by taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of men, and being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on the cross. Okay, so back up to verse 1. So if there's any encouragement in Christ and any comfort from love, any participation in the Spirit, any affection and sympathy, Paul opens up here with a conditional sentence. And the reason he does this is he wants to get the audience to start thinking and reflecting in their own lives. Are you displaying these qualities? And these qualities are qualities of love, all right? Encouragement, participation in the Spirit, affection, sympathy. These are all qualities of love. And he wants the audience to just stop and think. And am I displaying these qualities of love? And he goes on in verse 2, complete my joy by being of the same mind, having the same love, being in full accord and of one mind. He understands, all right, in these first two verses, he understands not everybody's going to be super sympathetic, super affectionate. Not everybody's going to be as good at some or the other at encouraging one another. In the first service, I used Jason as an example of affection, okay? Some of us aren't as affectionate. You say hi to Jason, he shows you how affectionate he is. All right, what do you normally do, Jason? Yeah, that's what I thought. And engulfs you, okay? He shows you he's a super affectionate person. And some of you are like, what are you doing? And he's like, you're getting a hug whether you like it or not, okay? He's a very affectionate person. And I love that about him, all right? And I'm not a super affectionate person. Hug, yeah, all right? But you know what? I understand that he's more affectionate than I am. And what he wants us to do in this second verse is telling us to work together, all right? Work together, and I should use his affection, and we should not only work together, just be together in Christ, okay? All right, and then moving on to verse 3, all right, so pay attention, you self-lovers, okay? Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interest of others. Okay? There will always be that temptation, all right, in your life, because Satan and evil really does not want you to be affectionate, sympathetic, encouraging, all right? There's going to always be this temptation to operate in selfish ambition, to look to advance your own agenda, okay? This conceit or pride that it talks about in this verse, everybody, you're going to struggle with it. I struggle with it. But he gives some counters to these, this seemingly impossible task, okay? And these counters are the key to achieving what he's talking about here, okay? In today's society, it makes it really hard to have this mindset, though. In today's society, it talks about look out for yourself, all right? Just what makes you happy, all right? Well, your truth may be different than my truth, okay? What makes you happy is most important according to our society, okay? And that's being drilled and drilled and drilled into people's heads, all right, in school, all right? Do what makes you happy, okay? Well, that's just the society today. And we have to counteract that with how we act and how we display this love for each other. And the key here is look out for yourself. I'm not saying don't, all right, just completely disregard yourself. You have to take care of yourself. You're supposed to love yourself. But look out for the others around you. And not just look out for them. Look out for them more than you do yourself. Put others before yourself. You don't see this kind of love anywhere in today's modern culture. Like I said, it's what makes you happy. That's what you should do. All right? Well, Paul gives us a supreme reality of, in a supreme example of what this is supposed to look like and how we should act, all right, in this love for one another. And one of the little girls in my Sunday school class, she gave me a good, and I used this actually in one of my sermons a while back. Joy, J-O-Y. Jesus, others, you. All right, you come last. All right, put Christ first, put others before yourself, and then worry about yourself last. And that'll bring true joy inside, all right? So, starting at verse 5, have this mind among yourselves, all right? So, put others before yourself and think like Christ did, all right? Have this mind among yourselves, which is yours in Christ Jesus, who though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself by taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of men. And being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on the cross. Christ has been there before he was a man. He always been there. He was in the form of God. He was God. He was there before he was born in Bethlehem. He did not use this to his gain. All right? He thought equality with God was not something to be grasped or used to his own advantage. He gave that God form. He gave up being in heaven. Think of something, we can't even comprehend what heaven would be like. He was a prince. He had everything to inherit, and you know what? He gave it all up. I don't know about you, but heaven sounds pretty awesome. No pain, no sorrow, just happiness and perfection. And he gave that up to come to earth. He gave up his status and privilege in heaven to come to earth. For you, he gave up everything to become a little Jewish baby boy on earth. For you. He had every right to stay in heaven and get what he deserved, but he didn't. For you. His love for us drove him to a position of weakness. For you. A position on the cross. For you. A cross where in Rome was the worst death imaginable for a human being. Rome, if you do not know, they perfected the art of torture and putting somebody to death. And you may think I'm being kind of, this is kind of dark. Well, he did this for us. It's supreme reality. He gave up himself. He gave up his concerns for our needs. If it wasn't for him doing this, you could not have bridged that gap between us and God. In Rome, being on a cross was a statement to the people around you, the people that walked past you while you were up on that cross, was a statement that the one crucified was beyond contempt, beyond care. You should not care about them. You should just forget about them. They're not even worth looking at. The physical pain was unimaginable. And the humiliation on the cross magnified that 10 times. He went through something that we could not even imagine out of selflessness. He gave up everything for a little while, experienced unimaginable pain for us so that we could achieve happiness and achieve a place in heaven. And who for? Each and every one. That is the model that Paul gives us to follow. And it sounds, well, Isaac, that's an impossible task. That's a model that we cannot achieve. He was perfect. He did everything. Even though he was tempted, he was not going to fall. Christ was perfect. Just because it's impossible does not mean you cannot strive for it and try to achieve it. Why would Paul give us this demonstration of perfect selflessness if he did not want us to follow it? Why would it be put in the Bible if we were not to follow it? Just because it's impossible to achieve does not mean that we should not try to achieve it. Can you look towards that Can you strive for that perfect model? I'm going to ask everybody to bow your heads. Close your eyes. And I want you to look at your daily life and just reflect on this. And ask yourself, am I showing selflessness? Am I putting others before myself? Am I disregarding myself for others? I want to give you guys an invitation. If you guys would like and you feel that you need or would like to go to God to ask for help with this impossible task, you're welcome to come and take a knee.
Again, we want to thank you for listening to this message from the Ebenezer Baptist Church. If you would like other messages or just general information about the Ebenezer Baptist Church, you can connect with us again on Facebook or on the web at www.ebc1837.com, or you can call the church office at 740-385-8411.